All right. My team continues from China. And after a very crazy and fun race in, where were we last night? Vietnam. 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 That was fun. That was a fun race. Almost points. So close to points. We could feel it. We were so close to points. Um, China, a little bit better track for me. I know this track really well. We tend to go here really well. It is a new team and a first season car, but my expectation is pretty high for this one. Um, Talk a little bit about last night's race. We were pretty lucky for the most part. I will admit we had a safety car. We had teams with strategies that were all over the place. We had a couple of DNFs ahead of us. We were way down the order after the turn 1 crash, the turn 1 incident, but sometimes you just get lucky. And last night was a case of just getting lucky. And sometimes you need luck. And we made our own. We stayed in the race with no flashbacks. Absolutely felt great because we didn't use any flashbacks. And we had a good result. In fact, without a 3-second time penalty, we would have finished inside the points. So, optimistic race for the team, optimistic race for me, confidence building, even. You just don't get races like that very often. It feels really rewarding because we didn't use the flashback. I was tempted after the 3-second penalty because I just turned in a little too early on one of the corners. Guess I cut it technically, and I got penalized for it. So, kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie, but we will find those first points at some point. At some time, we will get our first points eventually. But we were so close. We were so close. So we just gotta put the last 2 weekends behind us, which have been good weekends, solid weekends for the team. I mean, we're
I've had a chat
outperforming the
with Carl
car.
about the new parts, and we're happy that they've been integrated into the car okay. With any luck, you'll be able to feel the improvement, so give them a try.
We've been outperforming the car so far. I mean, by a lot. I was gonna turn this down by like one or two more. It's a little bit too loud. S- Um, we've been outperforming the car by a lot. By like a couple positions really. We're outperforming the Haas drivers right now. So both Haas drivers, we have finished ahead of them in the first two races, which is what I said in the preseason. I would like to
When you
finish
get a
ahead of
chance,
those
make sure to
guys.
run some of our practice programs. They don't all need to be done in one session, but there's valuable data there to help race strategy and car development.
Whatever. Whatever, Jeff. Whatever, man. Not interested. But we finished ahead of both Haas drivers in both races, so obviously optimistic stuff there. Um, so now we come to Shanghai with a chance to build on the momentum we've had in the first two races. I would say that we've had a lot of positive momentum.
Okay, we don't think we're far away from some rain. I'll keep you updated as the conditions change.
Oh, great. Rain is coming in this session. Let's just go ahead and do the first session. I want to get, or first practice program. I want to get a few laps under our belt before the rain comes, get a feeling for the dry weather conditions because most of the race is going to be in the dry, although it says there's going to be some rain at the end. It is raining already. Uh-oh. Weather reports.
We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So we're gonna have to be quite careful. It's gonna be very slippery at some point.
DRS zone is coming up. Get ready to open it. Distance is on your MFD.
Well, we just had to go out in changeable conditions, didn't we? Okay, so far the grip's not bad. I'm surprised. The grip is really not bad so far.
That's looking good. Now let's try for purple. You'll get a bonus for consistency if you can chain good corners together.
Oh, I just remembered, I have the racing line on, and I don't need the racing line for this track. But we'll do the practice program with it on anyway. Racing line is still on from Vietnam. We might be able to do this without needing to come in. Might get all 3 laps done. Yeah, I think we can get all 3 laps done. I'd say that DRS will probably be disabled on this lap. So
This is the final lap of the program.
Oh no. Give me that score. I have a score that I have to achieve. I don't know if I'm going to achieve it. Oh, the track's getting worse. It's getting worse, as you would expect, but it's still dry enough for slicks. Oh, just getting it slowed down. Hey!
That's the program complete. This is some decent data.
I know it's not purple, but I mean, come on, it's mixed conditions. It's tricky enough out there. I missed a couple corners. One corner we probably went red. Yeah, it was turn 7. We were not as good into turn 7 as we could have been. Which is that fast left-hander. Which honestly it should be flat out. But maybe our car doesn't perform well enough.
Our fastest lap is a 1 minute 37.9.
So, is it still... Wow, 34% wear on those tires. Still dry enough for slicks. There's Delatraz. He's doing whatever he's doing. We're first in the session so far. That will get knocked down unless conditions get worse. Still dry? Yeah, still dry enough for slicks. I'm amazed. We might end up being first in a session. Delatraz is 7th. Does our car enjoy this circuit? Track is still dry enough. Strange. Let's just go and do another practice program then. Why not?
This test is all about tyre management. Try to control the slip through each corner and take extra care.
Gasly is on intermediates. Oh, it's too wet for slicks. Oh, yeah, it is. I'm coming back in. Screw that. Screw that. We're
15th in the speed trap, 316.9 kilometers per hour.
Too wet for slicks. How many enters do we have? Okay. Yeah, we might... Well, is qualifying going to be dry? That's the question. It looks like it. The whole session. I don't want to use a set of enters if we can help it, so let's just stay out of off the track until FP2. And we end up being P5 in a session. How about that?
Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. What an incredible practice session.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Who's your main competition on the grid?
It's got to be one of the Haas drivers. I don't think it matters which one. We get more for Grosjean, so I'll take that one.
It's the start of the season. How do you think things are going to go for you?
You can never tell this early.
Are you hoping things clear up before qualifying? Appreciate your time.
Oh. These practice sessions are a bit monotonous after a while, but we gotta do them. So, how's the power unit looking? It's kind of even wear between the two, I guess. The race power unit is worn more in some areas and worn less in others. We'll do FP2. So because this is the last session with the practice gearbox, we need to do as much running in this session as we can, take some of the strain off of the event gearbox. I think that's just the smartest way to go. I like the setup. This will be our first full session of dry running. So the first thing we're going to do is, I guess we'll do, well, we don't have a set of mediums because that set of mediums got tossed. So we'll do this on the set of softs. Flying lap. I may just simulate FP3. Oh, big lockup and not making the hairpin. Getting so much understeer at that corner. It's not flat, apparently. Okay, well now I know that. Well, I don't know. I guess we just don't have the aerodynamics for that to be flat. God, the car's all over the place. Oh, that's the objective. That is the objective. Unfortunately, we've only done 2 practice programs in 1.5 sessions, I guess you could say. Medium tire going on. We'll do the race strategy. I'm thinking we're going to put more aerodynamics on more aero on the car before we do qualifying.
Give us some consistent laps, please. We're looking for good data that we can work into the race strategy.
With there being a risk of some rain. We don't know how much of the race is going to be wet, so have to use first gear there. It's just not good enough in that corner without putting it in the first.
what we asked for. Keep it up.
Did well enough to keep that on the track. That was a scary moment. I was sideways coming through that corner.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
Oh my god. The understeer in that corner is absolutely horrendous. I mean, that's the second time I've gone wide coming out of there. Oh. Not really even all that pushing all that hard either.
You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
Really not pushing very hard. I'm just kind of driving kind of lackadaisically. Could go faster. One of the toughest sections on the track. That first couple, that snaking section through there.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
That was slow. We're just trying to build up our pace over the weekend up to qualifying, and then of course in the race we just want to have the best and strongest pace we can in the race. God, it just snapped on me. That didn't happen. You didn't see that. You didn't see anything. Didn't see anything. It just snapped on me. Always been probably the most awkward corner on the whole freaking circuit. The exit out of there is awful. It's terrible. Ah, good enough. Whatever. Let's get through these annoying practice programs. We'll do fuel management while we're here. And that should be an easy one to knock out. Might just, I don't know, I might do the qualifying pace one.
We're testing fuel management here, so try to lift and coast going into the corners. Don't be too aggressive on the power, but remember, you still have to beat the minimum lap time. Program complete and
Well, we're just nailing this. So, I want to show the setup one time real quick because we are going to change this setup before the qualifying. But this setup seems to be a pretty good baseline dry setup. So, what you're going to want to do is we're running 6-7 wings. This might change in future seasons as we improve the aero package. You might not need as much downforce. But here, for the first season, 6-7 wings. And 63.58, but I think the...
so far our fastest lap is a 1:35.8.
The base values we were using was 78.58, but we've bumped down the differential on throttle, on track, out on track, and we're getting a little bit better rotation with that differential setting. So you're gonna have to play with that, but I think 58 off throttle is pretty good. It seems to be working quite well. That's the suspension geometry. I haven't tweaked that since I set that at the beginning of FP1. Suspension, that's all the same. For the rain, we're probably
I
gonna...
know it's tempting to focus entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it before the end of FP3 if you can.
Oh, okay. For the rain period, for the rain, we might, for the race, because it's gonna rain, we're probably gonna put the rear suspension a bit softer, just so we can get traction and everything in the wet period. I don't know how much of the race is gonna be wet, but you want to err on the side of safety. We'll bump the ride height up by a point or two on each, the front and the rear. But for the most part, that's your dry setting. Brakes.
If you want to know specific information
Dude.
or make certain changes to the car during a pit stop, you can tell me what you want over the radio. Press and hold the radio button to activate the system.
He's always
and you can either
interrupting.
speak the command or select it manually from the radio screen that will appear on the multifunction display. While the radio is active, cycle through...
Shut up, Jeff. So what I was leaving off at is brakes. We want to we might leave the brake pressure where it is and just try to drive around it, so that's fine. Tires, drop down the pressures, but not too much. Just a click on each, the front and the rear. So one click this way, and that's it. But other than that, one click above. That's pretty good, I think, for a dry setup, at least for these track conditions, temperatures, whatever.
Quick note about tyres. Just bear in mind we have to return the two most worn sets at the end of this session.
God.
They're gone forever at that point, so be careful how and when you use them, and don't waste any sets that you might need later on.
We get it. We get it, man. Oh. So here's the direction I'm going to go for the dry. So this is the dry, I mean, not for the dry, the direction for the race. For the wet, I'm thinking 7-8. That's a little high, but...
We're 22nd in the speed trap, 316.9
I don't care. I don't
kilometers per
care.
hour.
I really don't care. Aerodynamics, we're going to run 7-8 wing in the wet. I would run one click less on each for the dry. So 6-7 dry, 7-8 wet. For transmission values in the wet, we're going to probably drop the differential to 50, but that'll be off. We cannot change the off throttle from the cockpit, so we will have to drop this to 50. So I'm going to go and do that now from 58.
If you need to find some more time, remember that corner exit is more important than corner entry.
It's a nice little hack there if Jeff starts speaking over top of you. Just back out, pause, come back in. We're going to leave the differential for the dry at whatever. I guess 63 is good, as a good base. Front camber, we'll probably leave these suspension geometry settings just as they are. I think that's fine, because we're going to need to have some grip in the dry. 4-2.
Okay, here's something to remember about this circuit. Be careful.
God, he's always speaking. Does he ever just, not talk? Does he ever just shut up? Oh! So 4-2 suspension, 7-3 anti-roll bar, and we'll run a 5-6 ride height. That feels a little aggressive, but you do need a higher ride height in the wet. It helps. And we'll just try to drive around this. That's fine. All of this is not fine. We'll drop this one more. And that's good. We're going to do ERS management on this setup just to see. Yeah, we have a fresh set of softs. We'll just see how this feels in the dry. It might be a bit understeery, but that's going to help us out in the wet. You're just going to have to drive around it in the dry, or in the wet. Yeah, in the dry.
In this program, we're looking at ERS management. This is all about managing your battery efficiently throughout the lap to hit your target time. The overtake button will drain the battery quickly, but it will also give you maximum power.
We may be a bit slow on the straights, but you kind of got to hope that DRS will help you out and negate that. pass it with flying colors. So I'll take most of the resource points we've gathered here today, and we're going to get on to qualifying. So that's pretty much everything we needed to do. We're not going to get maximum resource points here, but we will simulate FP3, which I'm going to go over here and do in the main menu. And then we'll get to the main event, the qualifying and race sessions.
Let's see our top three.
We don't need to worry about the practice times. Difficulty is a little bit low. That's sort of slightly intentional, just so we can pass these programs. Oh, did that link not get sent out? It never did it? Now that link got sent out. I guess I never really checked to see if that link went out. So we'll simulate the third practice session. We'll put a different difficulty on for qualifying. It's obviously way too low. China is one of those tracks that AI are kind of weak at. Wow, 515. So that means 515 of 600. So we're missing out on about 75 points there. Oh yeah, I can... No, I can't. Can I do it here? I can do it from here, can't I? Yeah. Okay, so we're probably going to run at Shanghai to make it challenging. Let's try 90. Yeah, it's a little bit of a gamble because I feel like the AI are quite good. And with us running a low drag setup here, this could be a tougher race than, you know, we'll see how we qualify. I'm hoping not to be dead last, but we'll see. We'll see what qualifying brings. Now the good news is we can change the differential in qualifying and between the race, so we can change the off throttle and on throttle differentials between sessions, so we can run with that differential setup that we ran. Yeah, I already worked on that setup in free practice. So there's a number of things that we can change. Oh yeah, we gotta change, speaking of changing things, we gotta change out the power unit because I prefer to use this second power unit for the race. People are gonna be taking some penalties this year. It's just a question of what's the best race to take a penalty. I think in terms of the first race for a good grid penalty is maybe Spain, Canada. It's a pretty decent track. Silverstone, maybe. Italy is the ultimate track to take a grid penalty. Russia's kind of okay for that. So Mexico's a good track. Anywhere where you can really overtake and has straights, a pretty good track to take grid penalties. If you can eke it out until some of those tracks. We do have some things in progress. Merc have been making progress. We've made progress, actually, and we briefly jumped Haas going into Bahrain, and now we're pretty much level on performance with Haas. It's close between us and Haas. You can even see it right there in the performance comparison chart that we are very, very close to Haas. So let's do this qualifying session, just double checking that we put it there. Yep, 90. So we're going to do this on 90, but to be fair, AI here are pretty weak. They're pretty weak here. I'm trying to think of some of the tracks that they're weak. I know Canada and Austria are like two really weak tracks for the AI, so Silverstone, they're decent. They're competitive there. They're pretty competitive. So it's a dry qualifying session. There's no rain. At least there isn't any rain expected. So things we can change in Parc Ferme, we can change this differential. So we're going to go back to we're going to leave this at 63. We're going to go back to the 58 that we were running before. We can't change any of these settings once we pull out of the pits. We cannot change it. We can't change tire pressures, so I'm going to bump these back up.
The track is pretty quiet at the moment. Perhaps we should get out there and get a few laps in.
And yeah, that's it. That's basically it. So we're gonna take some fuel out of, no, I'm gonna leave that much fuel in the car. I think we'll be fine on that. And we're gonna go out at around the 11-minute mark because everyone else is gonna pretty much go out, set times, rubber the track in. We're gonna try to follow them out. Around about now this seems like a good time. Yep, I know all about Parc Ferme. Racing line is still on. I didn't need it. I ran with it for free practice, but I don't need it around here. We needed it at Vietnam because it's such a new track to me still that I used the racing line there, but I don't need it for Shanghai. I know this circuit pretty well. Should have gone into second, but it's okay. We're not on a hot lap, so it's not important yet. But good information to know for the actual hot lap. Oh, that's some understeer right there, isn't it? So it's going to be interesting to see how our low downforce setup fares around here because we are going to be quicker in those corners, and believe it or not, Shanghai is a high downforce circuit. It is. And so it does reward higher downforce setups. Despite the long straights, you can get away with a high downforce setup here. So we'll see what becomes of this. Well, I don't get flashbacks in qualifying, so I've already made a mistake coming into turn 1, so I'm going to put it on lean mix. And we're just going to cruise around again. I'm going to short shift here just to save some fuel. That's a dumb mistake if I've ever made one. Well, I have to go back around on this set of tires and put another lap in. We're going to have to short shift a little bit, lift and coast. Oh, that sucks because now I've got to go around again twice. I have to go around to get back around to set another lap time, and I have to actually set a lap time. So I may have just shot myself in the foot with that mistake, but I made my own rules. No flashbacks in qualifying. You make a mistake, you live with the mistake. So not good. Delatraz doesn't seem to have pace here, and we don't seem to be showing good signs of pace so far, so we'll have to come back around. This is the most frustrating element of this qualifying, is at least we went out with some time, but there's 8 minutes remaining. We haven't set a time yet. We're going to come around to do that right now. Oh, I'm getting so much understeer. The car isn't slowing down. Tinfoil brakes really coming in handy here. I don't have any ERS either, and I can't change the ERS mode, so I might be screwed here.
There's only one lap.
Struggling with this setup. This setup is not good. Not enjoying the feeling in the car at the moment. Oh, this has been a bad lap. All over the place. Grip is all over the place. Screw this. I'm not even gonna box. Just screw this. There's just no grip out here. Alright, well, we just wasted a set of tires. Good. Good for us. Glad we did that. That was so productive. Oh, that was so productive. Very good.
Open the display with the MFD
Amazing
button.
work.
You can then navigate
Sensational.
up and down to the setting you want to change.
God. Alright, I'm just dropping these pressures. Who cares? Dropping these pressures. We're going to go out again late. Screw this. Just horrendous. Just a horrendous joke.
Our best lap so far is a
Alright, whatever. Let's just go out. Let's just go out. Who cares? Probably eliminated at this point. Just can't find the freaking grip. We have so much understeer in all the corners. We can't slow the car down. We have 10 foil for brakes. Ah! Frustrations are building already. I'm gonna go for a completely open differential. Really gonna open up the differential a lot. That might help us a little bit. I don't know if I have anyone coming out behind me, but I don't really care either. They need to let you change the ERS mode in qualifying. Why don't they let you do that? Like, I can't change that. I'm pressing the button, I'm trying to change it, but I can't change the ERS level. It's stuck at hot lap for whatever stupid reason. Alright, let's just bonsai this thing. Locking up all over the place. Look at the front left, taking a beating. Huh. It's awful. You can count so many lockups on that lap. It was bad. Just don't seem to have any freaking pace here. some of the extra downforce we put on the car probably killed us in qualifying. We're 2.6 off pole. We're just off the Haas cars as well. Yeah, it's just first qualifying. It's been pretty rough for us, really. But we aren't last. We're P19. That was a rough qualifying, though. By far the toughest. Toughest we've done yet. I'm gonna grab some water and a small bite to eat, and then we'll get this Chinese Grand Prix underway. I can't really say if we're gonna perform in the wet or not. It's that qualifying performance was a bit disconcerting, but the pace just isn't really probably not gonna be there at certain tracks, and this may just be one of them. So we gotta live with it. It is what it is. We just gotta hope that we're prepared for the rain to come earlier. If it comes earlier, we're in a pretty decent position. And then if we got to perform in the wet, so we can't just have the wet period come sooner. We got to be able to do well in the wet, and that's kind of what I'm banking on, is that we'll just do well in the wet. Now we could take a grid penalty in this race and go ahead and take a cheeky grid penalty and knock out some of those an extra set of components. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold off on doing that until we really get to a point where we're desperate for it, or we qualify dead last. But so far we've had decent pace in each of the qualifying over our teammates, so who knows if we'll ever qualify last. But anyway, when I get back, we'll start this race up.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before the braking zone of turn 14. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Perez, and Lance Stroll, Ocon, Norris, Daniel Kvyat, and Gasly, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen, and the Rainmaster, Russell, Latifi, Delatraz, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, so Magnussen is going to start last. It's pretty much expected that there will be rain. My question is, when is that rain coming? So what we're gonna do is, I'm thinking, let's put medium. Do we have another? We don't have another set of medium tires, I don't think. No, we don't. So we just have a set of hards. So we just have one set of mediums and one set of hards. So I think that's pretty much the strategy. I wonder if we could go soft to... That's a little risky. Well, you know, we could probably do soft to hard. No, I'd rather just do the... Let's just do this, but let's come in earlier. So we can push on the hard tire. We'll probably box on lap 12. What's the expected tire wear? Oh, whoops. We'll do lap 11. Lap 11. That seems good. We'll do lap 11. So we'll come in on lap 11. Here's our setup. Once again, 7-8. I'm not sure exactly what differential setting to use. So we'll start with 53. We'll see how that feels on the out lap, on the formation lap. And move that back rearwards. Yeah, that's all good. We're just gonna have to drive around some of this setup in the wet. Gonna go a little bit excess on fuel, less than that. We're gonna save back some fuel in this race, so I don't want to put too much more. So that seems about right. So let's do this. Let's get this underway. With K-Mag starting behind us, that's going to help us out, at least in terms of initial positioning.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears.
See, there was
so
wheel spin all over the place on that initial pull away out of our grid, but we'll have more grip. I guess technically we've rubbered in that grid slot. We were initially slated to begin in P19. That's where we qualified. There's pretty low grip conditions already. I'm trying to really put temperature in. I'm trying to be as aggressive as possible. See, the fronts are not warming up at all. In fact, the fronts are underheated compared to the rears by a lot. Grip is going to be very, very difficult. We'll figure out the right differential setting for this whole way off the grid. We're not going to have much grip here. This is the corner that will help get some temperature in. We may lose positions off the start, so just be prepared for that. It's quite likely we will drop a position or two. Depends on what happens. Just got to be clean into turn one. That's my prerogative. We had a difficult start to the Vietnam Grand Prix, so let's try not to have a repeat of that here. And the game takes over. Always kind of jolts me when that happens. Try to be clean. If we have an overtaking move, we can go for it, but I'd rather just wait until DRS or the back straight, the long back straight, or DRS becomes available. Any of those two things. So we're just about to start this race now. Here we go. Nice and clean. We actually seem to have found something off the... We had found something off the launch, off the grid. Raikkonen is quick.
We've held position on lap 1. That's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused.
It's really not that bad, actually. Can we outbrake Kimi Raikkonen here? We did. We got past him in nice and clean as well. So you like to see it. Kimi is quick. It's not nearly that. It's not even close to being flat through there. Gosh, the understeer. Kimi's still there. I gotta give him some respect. I think he tagged me. 110. AI? No, I'm running on, I do 90. There's no way I have the pace for anything near 110. So unfortunately, we fell off of the pace of Giovinazzi fighting Raikkonen and getting a lot of understeer as well through that last section, that middle section. Almost went off the track a few times. This setup will come into our favor when the rain comes. So it'll be a little tough to drive around until wet weather conditions.
DRS zone.
It's got a lot of understeer in it, but it'll help us. It's gonna suck in the dry. I just gotta drive through it. Ah, I'm telling you, it's bad. We should be able to catch Giovinazzi at some point, I would hope. Just trying to find some traction. The dirty air coming through there, making that corner even worse. The Season 1 car is just such a dog of a car. Much better through there than the last time around. I'm just driving it in a little bit too deep.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to
We're
utilize
just
some of this
outside of
energy.
DRS. Just outside of it. Which is a shame. We could have used it on this back straight. We're running such a higher downforce setup as well. Again, that's for the wet period. Just kind of hope that we can get DRS and that would negate the extra bit of wing we're running at the rear. But we haven't gotten DRS. We're still just outside of it.
We're leading our teammate by 4.7 seconds.
I'm struggling so much in the corners with understeer that I am afraid to really push the car as well. This differential setup seems to be working though.
Come on, we need to get past.
I'm trying to chase him down, Jeff. This car is a bit of a pig. I hate the Season 1 car so much. It's so bad. It's terrible. Ugh. We need some upgrades on this baby. There we go. We should have easy overtake here. This should be an easy pass. But we're burning through ERS so quickly. It's so difficult to manage ERS right now. It's just we burn through it so quickly. I'm already at half the ERS remaining. Giovinazzi had trouble coming up that corner, but so did I. Now let's try to keep this clean. I don't get flashbacks here, so let's keep it clean when we try to make an overtake. We're really just trying to compete with the Haas cars, and we're doing that right now, so Grosjean just ahead of us. So that's just my target. I gotta set little targets for myself for the moment. We're probably running just a touch too much downforce to be able to catch Giovinazzi, even with DRS on the straight at least. I seem to be catching through here, but an overtake down the inside is super risky on this year's AI. I'd rather just pass him clean.
Some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Oh yeah. That's where our setup's going to come into play, because now we're going to have a lot of the period of the race will be under wet conditions, it seems like. Good exit. Getting a pretty good exit. Just don't have that pace. You can see that the Alpha is just that little bit quicker in a straight line. And I got to be careful with ERS. I can't burn too much of it. Got to just take our time with this overtake. Be patient with it. It'll happen. I'm not going to push anything. I'm not risking anything. I'm just getting too much understeer coming off of that corner. Frustrating. Might bump up the differential just a touch, just to see if it helps me get off the corners better. If it doesn't, it doesn't. He's so slow into that corner. Teammate status.
Gap to teammate behind is 9.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 18th. The time last lap was a 1:40.7.
Louis is in 18th. Oh my god. I'm just getting so much understeer everywhere.
Virtual safety car, virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta. Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
I slowed way down.
Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green.
Alright, that was pretty good for us to save some fuel there. This corner, I'm struggling with the dirty air coming off of that car in front of me. God! I keep throwing myself off into that corner. I'm just making my own dumb mistakes. And I'm struggling behind Giovinazzi. I just can't get past the guy. I have to do some overtaking into a corner.
Keep pushing. You're gaining on the car ahead.
Yeah, I don't feel like it.
We're leading our teammate by 11.9 seconds.
This is the toughest freaking thing. Alright, let's not screw ourselves up here. Good lockup, idiot. I'm driving like an idiot. Come on.
You has just fitted the hard tires.
Come on.
Running hards.
Even with Slipstream and DRS, we just, God. Look at this. We can't even get close enough. Descend. I started braking and then I realized I could outbrake him. You'll take it, and I get DRS, so...
We're approaching the pit window.
Hey,
You'll be on the
I'll take
hards.
it. Do we pit or do we just stay out until the rain? I don't know when the rain's gonna come. That's the problem. Weather report.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes' time. Rain in 10 minutes. Dries seem like the fastest tire at the moment.
I don't think we'll be able to make it to the rain period. Should have started on hard tires. That would have been the best play. Maybe. Then we wouldn't have been able to catch these guys, I guess. They're all on the mediums, so...
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
Ooh, I think we're gonna have a nice send here. Oh, I outbroke myself. He's gonna get the switchback. Yeah, I knew it. Oh, that's a mistake. Yeah, soft till rain makes the most sense. But I'm gonna get DRS. I've used up a lot of ERS trying to make that overtake. If I just didn't outbrake myself, but I was trying not to squeeze him too hard on the exit of that corner. This really isn't a dry setup, and I can't emphasize that enough. It's a partly dry setup. It's like a hybrid. Verstappen's quick. Oh! Oh! Grosjean has an engine failure right in front of me. Safety car.
Right, some information on Grosjean. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're
Oh,
retiring
it's
the car.
Verstappen. I'll just gotta let him go. He's faster. No point battling. Please tell me I got DRS. Please tell me. Yeah! I got DRS, alright. I almost let Giovinazzi right back into it by letting Verstappen through. That was kind of intelligent to give him the position. So are we boxing on this lap?
Push now. We're boxing this lap.
We can stay out on these tires a lot longer. They're not even close to 50% wear. Oh, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Oh. That's what I get for paying attention to the multi-function more than racing. Such a stupid mistake.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.3 seconds.
The tires are not feeling amazing at the moment, I can't lie. But we gotta try and stay out. Another couple laps. Oh man, it's just not turning into the corners like at all. Giovinazzi's gonna catch me. Oh, the understeer. Oh, the understeer. It is understeer city. I've just burned so much ERS. We have no efficiency with the ERS.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away
They're not
soon.
that bad. They're not that bad. In terms of what the multifunction display says. usually the big drop-off is about 50%. Weather report.
The rain is a few laps out yet, but it is coming. Be careful. Dries seem like
Could
the
we
best
pull a
tire for
fast
now.
one and stay out on mediums until the rain? It's tough because I don't know when DRS will be disabled and it will be officially intermediate conditions. Could always see how much time we're losing per lap and see if it's worth it. So we're going to start losing time per lap just based on tire wear. Yeah, not so good coming out of that corner. We're running in the top 10 provisionally. That was early on the brakes. Oh, all right. Well, Giovinazzi's not come in.
The gap to the car ahead is 21.3 seconds.
This is a tough call.
Gap to teammate behind is 18.8 seconds.
Let's just stay out. Screw it. I'm already committed. It looks like it's going to rain any minute now anyway. Let's just try to gut this out. I'll check the tire wear on the long back straight. Ah, this is just such a pig, this car. It's just understeer everywhere.
The car ahead of you has just fitted the hard tires. Car ahead now on the hard compound.
Weather report.
Radar suggests some weather is going to hit in around 5 minutes time, so stay on your toes. Dries seem like the fastest tire at the moment.
Oh my goodness. This is gonna get really spicy. What's Giovinazzi doing? Is he staying out? He's staying out! On the same tires he started on, so we're all doing the same thing, it looks like.
To mix two.
Oh, this is crazy. I think we can keep Giovinazzi behind. We'll see, it'll be interesting. Oh, you know what I didn't think about? How bad this tire is going to be when the wet comes. Worn mediums on wet track surface. I wish I could go flat
We're
coming out of there.
expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
Please, do a rain dance. Do a rain dance. I need rain. Jeff, you doing a rain dance, please? We're not that far. Look at the delta. It's not that bad. I think the medium tire cleans up pretty well. Look at that. Decent delta there. Top 5 provisionally. It won't stay like that. Where's that freaking rain? Giovinazzi pit. And Delatraz
Louis
pit.
in the pits. Louis in the pits.
This is either the greatest play of all time or the dumbest strategy call of all time. Just hold on, Leclerc. Wait till
Car
on.
in front is 7.5
Wait until the straight.
seconds.
Okay, Charles. Now go. That's a quick and easy pass for him, but I will get some slipstream. And DRS, thank you, Charles. I needed that. I need DRS and slipstream. Oh, it's raining! It's raining! Yes! It's raining! Disable DRS, please.
Be aware the car behind has newer tyres. Car behind on newer tyres.
Yeah, well, I'm pulling a fast strategy call here, Jeff. A little bit tricky now. Oh god, these conditions are going to be terrible on these worn mediums.
A new strategy is available
Ooh.
on the MFD.
Oh, where is it? Where's the strategy?
That last lap was a 1 minute 38.7.
Ah! Where's the strategy, Jeff? I don't see it. Set intermediate tire.
Okay, we'll fit inters on your next stop.
Box this lap.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Oh god. Oh god, I don't have anything. Oh, perfect timing. Oh, what perfect timing. I was sliding around. I had no grip. I almost bent it into the pit entry because there's just nothing out here. DRS just got disabled and we're going to be coming in for enters.
Okay, the stewards have now disabled DRS. DRS is now disabled. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Oh, this is going to be very treacherous, this first lap. Gasly on hard tires. Oh! Gasly, you're so slow on the apex, buddy.
Louis is coming in for his stop.
Vehicle condition.
No issues with tyre.
Oh
wear for
my
now.
god, I got
Keep
so
taking
lucky.
care of them.
I knew he would be slow, but I didn't know he would be that slow. Oh, let's push it. Let's go for the overtake. They got nothing anyway. You got no grip? Don't defend this. You got no grip. I don't have any grip either. To be fair, oh my god.
We've got a lot of spare energy. Use your overtake button.
Norris on hards. Ha! Yeah! We might just have pulled the greatest strategy call of the whole season. Norris is so slow. I'm trying to be careful because they are going to be slow. Careful now, don't bend it on the exit. We're running P5. What the hell?
Okay, the gap behind is 6.5 seconds.
A legitimate P5. Almost bend it, but we saved it. My goodness, the grip is just absolutely zero. Grip doesn't exist out here. I just gotta find my pace here. Yeah, those guys are gonna be well quicker than I am.
Okay, gap ahead is 4.6 seconds.
I don't know if I can keep those guys behind me, but we gotta try. We gotta try something here. So much understeer. It's just been, it's been emphasized in the wet. I didn't think it could get any worse. Just trying to turn the car is a difficult feat. Ten laps remain. Less than 10 laps remaining. Can we do this?
Bottas is leading the race.
Not surprising there.
The gap behind us is 4.7 seconds.
They're gaining. Their temperature, their tires must be coming up to temp, and they must be starting to find their pace in this wet conditions. This is the craziest. This is the craziest.
7 seconds.
I'm struggling in some of these corners. It's crazy how much I'm struggling.
You coping okay in this weather? We're watching the amount of standing water on the road. For now, we think it's safe to stay with the Inter.
Okay. Don't change the wets, please. Or maybe we should pray for wets. Maybe we'll be faster. I'm not as fast in that sector as Albon. He keeps making up the gap. It's now almost 4 seconds to Albon. Man, I gotta hope for something good by the end of this race.
You're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes.
So basically the end of the race.
The gap to the car ahead is 4.9 seconds.
I'm drifting through that corner.
The gap to the car behind is 4.5 seconds.
Gap is now extended to Albon, but we'll see how it is by the braking point on this straight. I just gotta hope for something. I just gotta hope that we can make it to the end here. This is a lofty position to be in.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
I got the fuel, Jeff. You don't you dare worry about it.
Bottas is up in first place.
This is the most intense amount of focus I've put into this game in a long time. This is insane.
You have a lead of 5 seconds over the car behind.
Ah, man, that's going to be a tough corner by the end of this race.
Gap to car in front is 4.5 seconds.
Also, thank you for subscribing. I don't have notifications for who subscribed, but thank you. This is so difficult. Oh, we built a gap to Vettel. How have we done this?
I think we're still on the right tyres for the time being.
Don't change the conditions. Don't change the conditions. Please don't change the conditions. It needs to stay wet. There's still 5 laps left. Are you joking me? Don't screw me over, game. I like the wet. Oh, we went in too deep.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
It's like wrestling a bear. Ah, it's insane. Coming around that final corner. Oh, there's still too many laps left. Yeah, now it's starting to get really tricky. I think these inters are going off. Feels like this is a never-ending race at this point. We're holding our own. We're holding our own in this wet condition. I just need it to stay wet. That's my biggest fear at the moment. There's still too many laps for my comfort. Oh, the lack of traction. Ugh. I'm so cautious putting the power down.
Bottas is out in front. Okay, gap ahead is 4.9 seconds. Okay, I think the track will be drying out quite soon.
No!
Burn out your tyres. Our gap behind is 4.9 seconds.
Well, we're pretty much going to have to finish on inters. There's no way it dries out that
3
quickly.
laps of fuel remaining.
There's no way. This game can't screw me over like that. No way. Gap to Albon's coming down. That's not good. I've burned up so much ERS.
You're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Keep pushing.
Weather report.
Inters look like the best tyre for now.
Oh god, Albon's gained like a second already. This is not good. I need to cool off the tires a little bit. Just keep our cool, man. Just keep our cool. Oh. Oh, let's not do that. Oh, the absolute lack of grip. Ah!
Our gap to the car in front is 7.0 seconds.
I got nothing on this tire anymore, man. I can't push on this tire. Oh, I gotta last to the end. One more lap after this. We can do this.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Find me some grip somewhere. One more lap after this. Come on, we can do this. We can do this. I'm sweating like a pig. I cannot believe how much I'm sweating. This is so intense. Final lap.
This is your final lap of the race.
Oh my god, it couldn't come fast enough. We still have to survive it. Albon 2.2 behind. I just don't have the grip that I had before. Oh my god. Oh my god, man. Oh, look at the tires. Oh man. That's what I've been driving on for the last couple laps. Oh my god. We're gonna come across the line. It's gonna be P5. That's our first points.
That's the end of the race.
Yeah! Haha! Oh, that felt so good. Oh, what a drive in the wet. Best finish so far for the team. First points.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was.
It's
Tell me,
over.
Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today.
Oh my god.
Well suited to the conditions.
Oh
out on
my
track.
god.
The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Oh,
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
yeah. First points. That P5. That is so satisfying. That is the most satisfying finish I've ever had in a career mode. The Season 1 car, putting it into P5 with just strategy. Oh.
Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed.
Yeah!
Valtteri Bottas further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
I have to give it to the Rainmaster. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors.
The
Current
Rainmaster
championship leaders still hold
indeed.
top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
The only reason we are that high up the finishing order is strategy. We called it. I said during the dry period as it was transitioning into wet, I said what we should do is we should just take a bold gamble. We got nothing to lose. If we pit, we're gonna finish somewhere down here. Let's stay out. I don't care how bad the tires get. Let's just stay out. So we just stayed out. I don't know how many laps I did on mediums. I think we did like almost 20. Yeah, not far off from doing 20. I mean, they were done by the end of the stint, but I mean, we carried those laps, those tires 17 laps, then put enters on, boom. And not only did we call a great one-stop strategy into the rain period, but we pulled a gap to Vettel. We were pulling a gap to Albon initially, and then he just started reeling us in as the tires wore down. We just don't have the tire wear to make the tires last like the best teams do. But this is the great thing about the rain. The rain is the great equalizer. The strategy also helping, but that is such a satisfying result. It's the first points. It's 10 points for the team. We got 10 points. Didn't expect to score points coming into this race. We qualified P19. We started P18 because of a grid penalty to, I think it was Magnussen. But we started P19 or P18. And we were struggling behind the Alphas and the Haas cars. Eventually got past them, but I didn't feel like we were all that quick in the dry period. And then the rain came, and we did use a wet setup, a mostly wet setup here, which seemed to help a lot. Still a lot of understeer, but wow. I mean, that is a satisfying, well-earned 10 points. How about the highlights, if there are any highlights to look at? So that's us on the right-hand side. Right here, going down the inside of the Alpha into turn 1, trying to keep it clean. I think that's Kimi Räikkönen on our outside. We had a good duel with Kimi on this first lap. We ended up conceding position to Kimi later in the lap, despite our good battle. Our good back and forth. I don't know what the camera is looking at here, but the race is on the other side of the circuit, guys. There we go. That's us going down the inside of Kimi. And then I think Kimi retook the position here. This is us overtaking Kimi. And again, the camera is not focused on the action. And we missed that brilliant overtake. Thank you for your amazing camera work there, Codemasters. Brilliant stuff. So I think this is us fighting Giovinazzi, and I was getting so much understeer. Oh, I was not trying to be dirty. I didn't even know if he was on the inside, to be honest. This is us outbraking ourselves, trying to overtake Grosjean. A lot of these highlights are missing the critical action of the race. And that's Grosjean blowing an engine right in front of me. And I was trying to be very careful to overtake him because you never know what the AI might do trying to overtake them even with a blown engine. So this is the point in the race. Oh well, never mind. We're now on inters. But that was the point in the race that made all the difference for us. Staying out on worn mediums to put the intermediate tire on, and that's us taking checkered flag in a P5. Who would have thought we would have taken P5 when we lined up on the grid to start this race? There is one screenshot. Well, I want to see our first lap from the onboard perspective as well. So here's the first lap. It was actually a really good first lap. Lots of duels with both Alfa Romeos. See, we get a decent pull away off the grid. And that is Giovinazzi that we're trying to overtake here. We actually get ahead for a brief period there, but he actually seemed to find grip along the outside and kept it right alongside. I'm trying to give him respect and room, and trying to avoid the slower cars in front of us who are battling, and Giovinazzi's going to take that position. And then here comes Kimi, and then we are going to... Are we going to send it? Yeah, we do kind of briefly send it on Kimi, trying to squeeze Kimi out, being fair as we can. Tapping a bit Giovinazzi, and Kimi just gets better traction. We struggle with getting out of that corner, and we have to tuck in behind, unfortunately. If we got better traction, it could have been a lot closer than it was into that corner. So Kimi pulls ahead, and then we're going to go after Kimi on the back straight, I think. It may be this lap or it may be a lap or two after this, but I can't. But we did eventually overtake him. Car feeling a little bit slow in the initial phase of the race. I think it just took a while for the tires to actually come up to temperature. And we were just slow in a straight line in this race. We also have to be very cautious with our ERS deployment. You can see that the Alpha's just going to out-drag us, even with rich mix going and overtake. It's faster in straight line, so we send it down the inside, trying to just squeeze Kimi out fairly. And we do that, and we get the position. And I felt good about that overtake. Nice clean overtake. And then we go to chase down and hunt down the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. We had fallen off a little bit battling Kimi there. So we had fallen a little bit further behind than I would have liked at this stage in the race. So I pretty much thought that at the beginning of the race this was going to be our battle. It would be with both Alfa Romeo cars and with the Haas cars. That's pretty much what I said. I mean, I keep saying it, but in preseason I did say ideally we should be fighting the Haas cars. It would be nice, the two American teams fighting each other would be pretty nice. And so I was hoping we could fight both Haas cars, and we have done that successfully in all three races. We've actually finished just ahead of all three Haas cars in all three races so far this season. I'm sure there will be a race where we will be outdone by the Haas team. I think that was when Raikkonen sent it down the inside. I didn't realize he was he wasn't really fully there, but he did have a nose down the inside, so he was having a peak. But I would kind of didn't really, I don't know that you could say I didn't give him space, but I probably could have respected him a little bit more than I did. So let me take this opportunity to get a thumbnail, a screenshot, a thumbnail, something. Where's my key? I need my keyboard. It's easier to do this with the keyboard than it is with the steering wheel. Actually, before I do this, I'd rather let the car go a little further ahead, maybe. Yeah, we'll do about right there. I don't know. I might want it a little bit closer, actually. Let's see. Let's bring the car. Yeah, right there. Now let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now let's tilt this up. Can I bring that down any? No, I can't bring that down any further. That's okay. What's the angle I want to get this at? I don't know. This shot has worked for me in F1 2017 and 18. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Maybe we zoom in a little bit as well. Just want to knock this screenshot out while I can. Maybe a little bit of zoom. Actually, I don't know. I actually want less zoom. Wish I could add a fisheye effect. Is it 1/30th? Wow. Okay. That's too intense. That's still too intense. That's still too intense. I just want a little bit of blur. Yeah, that's about right. That's good. Maybe we tilt it. Yeah, let's tilt it. Maybe add a vignette. Yeah. And then take a little bit of it off. I don't want too much. Just a subtle vignette. Move this to the top left, bottom left. I can't see it anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Color grade? Well, that's pretty good. I like that. That looks good. Enhance looks good. Cooler looks good. Cinematic looks good. I don't want to take too long with this, but I do want to get a cool looking screenshot we can use for either a thumbnail or maybe a stream loading screen, something like that in the future. Our early bird looks pretty cool. I'm just trying to look at different like color grades that can maybe make this pop a little bit more. While we're here, I won't get another chance to get a screenshot, so we'll use enhance first. Let's up the contrast. Yeah, that's good. That looks pretty good right there. Get it kind of movie-like, almost like a poster. I'm gonna have to save this in Windows, or not Windows, in Paint. So we'll do that now. Go ahead and knock this out. It's almost 1 a.m. That was a long, intense race. All right, so we'll just save this as United China 1. Because I'm probably going to have multiple, just so I have options. Just going to put different color grades on here, and then we'll just try and have different options available to us. Set point is pretty cool looking. Unfortunately, I have to let the motion blur effect render. Let's put this in Paint. I need to have a Paint shortcut so I can get to it faster than having to go to the Windows tab and then scroll down. But anyway, United F1 or United China 2. That's what we named it. So we'll just go with 2. So we have a second one, and then I like that. That's good. Put the motion blur on it. Just one more, I think one more color grade I want after this. So paint, paste it. And then the last effect I think I'm going to use is, it was further down here after all of these weird effects. Was it? It wasn't Gloom. No. Maybe it was Early Bird. No, it wasn't that. I don't think it was that. Maybe it was Zoom? I kind of like Gloom. I actually like that desaturated look. We'll take that. And that will be the last one we'll take. And then I can play around with editing these, make a cool thumbnail. United China 4. There we go. So we have a screenshot from our first points finish ever, which is pretty sensational to think that we actually scored points on merit in a crazy wet race. I don't think there's any more pictures or any more color grades I want to use. Let's advance. Let's see what Claire has to ask us about that race.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
I guess I don't know. We didn't. That's an ironic answer because we didn't have much grip.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
I think we got to say that that was a pretty good show.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today? Great. Well, that's everything.
So we've been well, of course we outperformed Grosjean. He didn't even finish. He had a DNF with a mechanical failure. We have increased our acclaim so much that we're catching Delatraz at a rate of knots. And I mean, a performance like that, your acclaim should go way up. It should skyrocket. Well, we easily completed those objectives. And damage deductions. Oh, $500? What did he damage? They only took $500 out of Delatraz.
Morning, boss. This week's income from the sponsors has cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
Okay, let's start trying to bring in some, well, I don't know that I want to do that. Ooh, this is tough. I was hoping we could bring in cash without hurting a department. We don't need to hurt department morale. That's like the last thing we need to do. We'll do this for powertrain. So we'll do a power team building. We'll do some G-force training. We'll do... We'll do a sponsor event. It'll cost us some cash, but we'll do it. And I guess driver promotion filming? Yeah, we'll do that. That pretty much fills up our schedule. Don't want to hurt any of the department morale, because we do have parts that are in development. And we need to keep morale as high as possible. So with a chassis and aerodynamics part coming in, we need morale. We need good morale. We'll put the old power unit back in, the first one that we have been using in practice. Put that back in. How's this gearbox looking? It's almost 50% wear at half distance. And we did put a gearbox upgrade in the car as well, so we have that first gearbox upgrade. There is the season results so far to this point. How about that P5? That is a P5 on merit. I'm just going to be smiling about that all night. I'm going to go to bed and sleep well, knowing that we put in such a great race and a great effort. First points. Oh yeah, before I do anything else, there was something I wanted to change with the sponsorships, and I think some of these sponsorships don't stand out enough in white, and so we're going to change these to black coloring. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad, honestly, against the red, white, and blue color of our car. In fact, I might do that to the front wing as well. That might actually look better on the front wing. You know what? I'm going to stick with the red on the front wing. That's fine. Maybe on the halo. Put something on the halo. Put it in black. No, I'm just going to leave the halo without a sponsor. We'll just leave it without a sponsor. This could be black. For sure. Yeah, that looks better in black. No sponsor there. Yeah, that's good there. And I'm going to do this to them as well on the rear wing, as it'll stand out more. And I'm going to leave Equinox in blue on the rear wing end plate. It's not too bad looking, actually. I would prefer them to be in white, but with this year's car, it's kind of hard to do that without some of the sponsorship logos blending in with the livery. And our number font is black anyway. As far as I know, I don't think we can change that. Can we? We can't change that. I don't think we can change that. Yeah, we can't change that. I wish we could change that. That should be an option. You could also just Photoshop a skin, but I don't have the skill set for that. So we'll just keep modifying the in-game cars. Just making sure there's anything else we need to do. We do need to start upgrading the facilities at some point. We just have enough money. I don't want to spend money yet on a facility upgrade, just yet. We need to just bring in a little more money before we do that. Let's see, we might bring in some money here with our weekly resources. We might get over 3 million. Oh, a press interview. I was not expecting this. I guess it was in the activities.
Well, it's great to be back at your headquarters, and I've got to say, an awful lot's changed since we were last here. Let's dive in with some questions. Would it be safe to say that in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team?
I'd just say there's no team orders. We're a fledgling team. We're just trying to get our feet wet here.
Going into this season?
We're just trying to get points at this stage in the game. So, and we've successfully done that.
Or will you be looking for someone else if you're successful?
We'll just say that.
Will your team be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points? Let's talk about your new second driver. How are they settling
in? They will make a good wingman for me. That's the Lewis Hamilton answer. I guess we'll say he's loving the new car. It's a fair answer.
Well, thanks a lot for inviting us here. It's been fantastic.
So we've had two really good races that have really come close to points on the first occasion, which was last night's race in Vietnam. And then tonight we actually secured our first points, which I guess was justice for what happened in Vietnam. with the penalty, it kind of feels good to actually get those first points in that race with a good strategy call instead of being helped out by the safety car. And we never had a safety car in that race, so that's pretty nice. We're level on points with Lance Stroll. That's pretty insane to think about. Advance the time. Well, that passed, so that's good. And the aerodynamics upgrade is going to be coming in as well.
Our new parts have been completed.
Yes!
They'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
And it is Zandvoort next, which is always a fun race. We have not had a part fail on us yet. But I say that, and as soon as I say that, we probably will have a part fail. So let's see here. Do we want to go for resource point generation, or do we want to go for improving? I think the biggest thing to focus on now is quality control. You don't want these parts to fail because you're going to be spending resource points on them, so we don't want these parts to fail. And we've actually upgraded. Oh, the powertrain already had a spec 1, so it was already at spec 1 anyway, so it's going to take time to develop that facility. So next facility we need to focus on is the chassis department, and I think quality control is probably the first thing, or we could do resource point generation, but I think quality control is important. But also all four of these are important. Being able to get resource points, I think that's probably the least important of all three of these. You want to be able to increase the amount of parts we can fabricate at one time, increase how fast those parts are fabricated, and of course make sure that these parts don't fail. Well, reduce the chances that they could fail. So let's do that. I think that just makes the most sense. And now we're down to 1.3 million, so we're going to have to start making money, but that's where the performance on track and the sponsorships are going to come in handy. We just got to slowly build this thing up. We have a weekly running cost of 40,000, so as long as we're staying above water, we should be fine, which is what we're doing at the moment. I don't even think we have enough budget anyway to upgrade another facility or another part of a facility at this moment. So let's get to the tire selection. I think we should just go softer with every race weekend. Or we could go with balance because we probably won't be making Q2. Let's do that. That gives us an extra medium tire and strategy to play with. So Zandvoort's a pretty simple one-stop either way. So I'm not that concerned about tire selection anyway for tracks like Zandvoort, but for the more difficult tire wear circuits, we might want to think a little bit more strategically in terms of tire selection. So we got Dutch Grand Prix coming up, and then Spain. So Spain is going to be probably one of the harder tracks on tire wear, and then the infamous Monaco GP. I can see us DNFing that one. But it's the last street track of the year for season 1. It's the last street track of season 1, and we'll be doing the full 22 race calendar for season 2. But for now, we are doing the shortened 16 race season, and we don't have to do but 2 street tracks, and we already knocked one of them out and had a great race. So let's get on to the Dutch Grand Prix. Now I'm going to be racing them at a much lower difficulty here. I'm not sure the difficulty, so we'll just start with 83 in the weekend. And that should at least be a decent starting point. We can figure that out in the practice sessions, just about where in the ballpark we need to be in terms of difficulty for this one. I think around 86, 87 is probably about right for Zandvoort, but I don't know. I have to look back at the previous races we've done here with Majestic Racing. May they rest in peace. We'll have to look back at what we did with Majestic Racing and see what we did in terms of AI difficulty at Zandvoort. So, it's going to rain in qualifying as well. That's good. We probably won't even make it that far into qualifying, to be fair, so it probably won't affect us. I don't think there's anything to see here that we haven't seen Oh yeah, we need to start buying upgrades. So let's buy some more upgrades. So first on my mind, we can't do a new chassis upgrade. We could do an ICE upgrade. We're actually faring okay in terms of engine. I think aerodynamics is what we really need to focus on, but we also need to do... We'll do this for sure. We need a engine durability upgrade, so let's get to work on that, and then we will do... I don't know that it matters if it's rear or front wing. Where's the ability to see what the description... Yeah, there we go. A revision to the shape of the secondary wing flaps means slot gaps are more strategically placed for better airflow, increasing downforce. I mean, it's obviously front downforce. It's just a question of do we want to improve that over rear downforce. Do this first. So that's expected for Monday, say May 25th? Yeah, May 25th. Both of those are expected to come in at the same time, which I think will be ahead of Spain. Wait, let me go back into the R&D and see what that says. No, ahead of Canada. Our progress might be a bit slow this year, but it was with Majestic Racing. It was slow initially. So that's going to be it for tonight. We had a really great race. Don't think we could top that. I don't know that we'll be able to top that the rest of the season. A P5. It's a P5 on merit. We got a P5 in wet conditions. So you can put a little bit of an... Whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen. You can put a little bit of an asterisk beside the race because it was in wet conditions, but I mean, it just doesn't get much better than that in the Season 1 car with the Season 1 team, and that's a legitimate difficulty, and as you can see for yourselves. So we'll be back with the Dutch Grand Prix tomorrow, and that one is always a fun race. It's always tight racing there. It's just going to be... this first season is going to be a little bit difficult with the Season 1 car. That's what's going to suck. Is the Season 1 car is going to be a little tough to handle. But we'll get back to it tomorrow and try to repeat... Well, I don't know that we can repeat that result. But we're going to try our best to repeat that result, get points, and continue improving the car. That's what Season 1 is all about. And I'll see you tomorrow. Probably about the same time.